Hi, Jason here. Hi, Jason here. Basically, I have been reading a lot of books, and I just thought I should start sharing them, or at least just make this video so that I can share it with myself. Let's see anyway. But I just finished this Jurassic Park: The Lost World by Michael Crichton. I hope I'm saying his name. It's not Michael Crichton, is it? Crichton? Can't even read. Well, that's it, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I couldn't put it down. It was just fun. Really gruesome. I think, like, the last third of the book was a little bit like Hollywood, let's say, or it felt like I was watching an action film. Characters was just sort of like a bit over the top. But I really appreciated how much work he's obviously done to at least create some world. And then when the characters such as Ian Malcolm, you probably know from the film, or there's Fawn or Levine and Sarah Harding and all these sort of like experts in their field, you know? When they talk about things, it's very interesting to listen to and it feels real. Even if maybe it's exaggerated in some sense, I think he's done a good job and he's caricatured them in a good way and it was fun and I enjoyed it. And the descriptions of like the dinosaurs and sometimes like the violent stuff is really well done. The tension's good and you're sort of like reading it going, oh, but you're also looking forward to their moments. And there's like these concepts in it, you know, a few concepts about chaos theory and this one especially more about extinction and evolution and how the dinosaurs became extinct, essentially. Like, that's the question they're asking. And I was sitting on the train in England and I was going towards Newcastle and I was reading it. And I got up to this chapter. I think I took a picture of it. I really should like highlight my books. I think that's what I'm going to do next time. But I also just love like being immersed in it and not be like, oh, where's my pen? Or where's my notebook? Oh, and just like when I'm in it, because sometimes because my brain is, ooh, exactly, look, what just happened? That's me every day. And I was sitting on the train and I was going towards Newcastle and then there's like this Singaporean family. I could recognise their accent. And they're sitting around me and they're eating their snacks. And then I've got my headphones on, but he's offered me one, the guy opposite me. And I was like, oh, no, thank you. And then I kind of took off my headphones and then I think I took out my sandwich and he made a comment that I was prepared. I think they were just like looking for conversation, but I could see they were having a nice time. They were on holiday. Yes, I'm talking to this guy and he's like, oh, blah, 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 what you here for? Where you going? We start talking about all the different things. They're going to Edinburgh. Anyway, fast forward the conversation. The guy next to me, who was the brother-in-law of the first guy I was speaking to, starts talking about like children's education. And we get into this kind of like conversation about it. And the chapter I was just reading was so relevant to what we was talking about and it was so interesting and I was like, this is so funny, I just read about this and I kind of read it to him. But it was this concept of like, how do societies evolve? Basically how we evolve through the structure of care. I think he was like referring to the Tyrannosaurus Rex, work out how they can look after their young and then that in turn kind of builds a society. It's like a point in which they're just trying to make the young survive, you know, and like to take this back to kind of like humans and like how, you know, we'd have a village and then we would look after the young and everything we do is in a way even now is to like almost be left for the next generation or to teach the next generation how to do things. And I don't know, just like looking at that lens of how society is built, how important is education, because that is what leads us to the next step constantly. Because as you'll find out in this book too, like, life does not last forever. Sometimes you are taken and what lives on is like what you've left, you know, whether that's knowledge or love or teachings or, you know, you're leaving something behind. And then so we all are, you know. But anyway, I digress. This is a little digression. Yeah, the other scale of that is extinction, and they're basically like talking, trying to find out what, I don't want to ruin the book, you know, because it kind of comes to a nice conclusion at the end. I think like one of the characters sort of speaks about it in a interesting way. even though sometimes like they're quite scientific and they're quite pessimistic. Some of them, like during the, especially in the earlier of the book, earlier in the book, and I found myself kind of like arguing with him, but it was kind of fun because I don't think there's a reason they're extreme people. Like they go to a bloody lost world to try and find dinosaurs. Like what the hell? There's bad guys. Characters go. It's a great. I almost think it's more exciting than the film, and very different to the film, because what I read once that Steven Spielberg really wanted to make the movie, but the book wasn't done after the success of the original book and the film, which is one of my favorite films of all time, by the way. So Steven Spielberg wanted to make it, but there was no book. So he said, "Can you please write it?" So it was kind of like written and made during the same time. So there's some similarities, but also it is very different. Like the plot is different. Like a lot of the characters are different. The characters' personalities are different. So, both in number one and number two, there's a big shift in like how you feel about the characters, especially in number one, I find. Anyway, I would recommend this. It's good fun if you like stuff like this. I really like dinosaurs. I'm a bit of like it's the inner child in me. I just like read it and I just like visualizing like having a beast that big in front of you. How insane that would be, because nature is incredible and stories are fun, and yeah, maybe I should just keep doing this, and maybe I'll look back at some of the other books I've read. Someone's singing. Sounded like someone was singing. It sounded kind of nice, but was it? I don't know. Anyway, you probably can't hear them because the mic's not there. Alright, well, I think that's all I have to say. Yeah, if you've got any recommendations for me, if you like this video, if you think I should talk about something else, if I should shut my mouth and never speak again, then please let me know, or I might see you again. Bye.